Hi, this is Wave. If you're new to project panning or have done in the past and weren't so successful, try my tips. Basically, I'll be breaking down my tips from my past 3 years of project panning. I actually have a reflection video from this Vlogmas, so if you haven't seen that, go check that out first, just to get an overview. Or if not, if you just want to look for tips that can help you improve or just have an easier transition to project panning, then keep watching. My first tip is to start small. Now, that's an obvious thing, but for someone like me who likes to overachieve, it backfires quite a bit. And doing 2 project pans back to back has taught me quite a lot. Even though I did limit myself a bit, it wasn't enough. So I suggest doing 3 or 5 products you have in your collection. Definitely make it different, unless you're like someone who has like a lot of makeup palettes or makeup blushes, bronzers, or whatever, and you just want to get through like rotation wise, you can do that. How I would go about this is, if you were doing like different, say you have 5 items, it could be one's a mascara, an eyeshadow palette, blush, bronzer, and a lipstick. Or it could be an eyeliner or anything else you have that I didn't mention. So you pick those and then you work with them for say a month. So start with that, or if that's like way too much, then start less, like 3. Do a face palette, a makeup palette, and some lipstick or mascara. Starting small will, one, not let you overestimate yourself, but make it more realistic and see how well you do with that. If you do for a year and it works, great. If you want to do more, that's wonderful. If you find that doing 3 or 5 was too much, then adjust. There is no rules of how many you need to do. I mean, there is a YouTuber who created this and all that, but make project pan cater to your needs and what you feel you want to get most out of it. That's the whole point, because the whole thing about project panning, I think, was originally created is just to get through your makeup collection before it expires, and you'll learn a thing or two. My next tip is decide how long you're going to do it. For me, I did it for a year because I was just curious to see how much I can get done in a year, and I did quite a bit actually. But a year may be too much for some people, so start doing 6 months. Maybe do 3 months, or just do a month and see how well you do. Don't pressure yourself too hard to try to hit a goal, because you have to factor in some products that you use are faster than other depending on if it's already been used before. Like say a lipstick, if it's already halfway used already, then when you start the project pan, it's gonna be most likely get done faster than anything else if you were being consistent. Or if you're doing it say for a year, it's most likely gonna get done. If you're doing face palettes, depending on what formulation they are they a pressed compact? Are they a loose form? Looser products generally go more, because when you switch it and all that and they do your little tappy to get the excess off, it flies off. Versus a pressed palette is more dense and will take you more longer to get through. Back to what I was saying about a face palette. If it's really dense and the formulation is pretty hard, you're not gonna get through it most likely in a year, unless you're like dedicated to that one. If it was more of a smoother formulation, you can see it more crumbly and it go through faster. Now, if you're using brushes, that also plays in a factor, because I notice through my brushes, smoother ones generally take up less product versus stiffer. Like my kabuki brush, it's not soft, but I noticed that when I tap it onto my NARS bronzer, it picks up a lot because it's more stiffer for the strands, versus my Wayne Goss brush that is made out of blue squirrel. that is super soft. So that only takes a little bit at a time. I can build it up, but it's not going to be shredding like my kabuki brush does. So you want to factor in which brush you use as well. My next tip is to think about the ways you're going to use the item. Like, I've been doing perfumes like about every single year at this point because I have so many and I want to get through it, otherwise it just goes to waste and it gets bad. And I don't like to waste product. So my biggest issue was using the huge perfume bottles that my mom gives me, and one spray is way too much for me and it overpowers smell for others, so I want to be more conscientious of it. So from Christina Chang, what she does is actually use it as like a Febreze and sprays all over the house. So that's what I've been doing, and I got through them so fast that I never would have done if I didn't know that little trick from her. So definitely be more creative. If you are doing project pan during Halloween, you can definitely use your products up more, like for face and all that you generally wouldn't use on a day-to-day basis. The more creative you are with it, the better, because if you find a product that you're not enjoying but you want to get rid of it as it was part of your project pan goal, just to get rid of it or just hit pan, definitely think outside the box, because it'll definitely help you. And also you don't feel so bad of getting a product that you find that you don't really like or it doesn't cater to your needs, or say that it ends up causing an allergic reaction but you don't want to waste it. Like for instance, foundation. You can use that as paint. I can't wear foundation because it just irritates my skin. It starts to act up. I don't have any allergies, but for some reason that happens. So using it as a paint for my bujo or for my sketchbook is a good way. I'm not wasting money because it's already past the due date. If it's already past due date to return the item, then definitely use it for arts and crafts or anything you can think of. Definitely leave me comments down below of how you use stuff that we're not conventionally meant to use. I'm really curious about that. My last tip, and this is the most important one of all, have fun. Project Pan for some is more competitive. That's how I am, and that's how I get my enjoyment out of it, even though I get frustrated at times. For some it may not seem that way, so definitely do it for you and have fun and learn from it. That's another thing I'll say about it. Having fun also gets you to learn things about yourself and also learns things about your collection to reevaluate. Maybe you had this one particular eyeshadow that you just weren't enjoying, but you decided to try different methods and discover, hey, you like it that way and you're having fun and enjoying it. That's the best part of project panning. You learn and you get to have fun, and there's a community for it. Now, I don't particularly put myself into these communities. I don't even know how to begin with, but I do the project panning because it's fun and it helps me improve on my Spanish and also improve on talking to a camera. If you've seen how I started to where I'm now, you see how much I've grown so much from it. And with that, those are my bujo tips for starting out, or any tips that can be a help for somebody else that's been project panning for a bit. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and in the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.